Well, welcome to our levy information session. We are excited to have you here and to share this with you, and we are recording the session so that we can broadcast it on our website. Hopefully you're aware we have two levy propositions on the February 11th, 2025 special election ballot. Proposition 12, which is a replacement EP&O levy, and Proposition 13, a capital and technology levy. Just a quick refresher on school levies. They are local property taxes that help support a school district, and all levies need just a simple majority vote, 50% plus one, from the voting residents of the district in order to pass. In Washington State, we have three different types of school levies. The first is the one folks are most familiar with, a maintenance and operations levy. You may also hear this referred to as an M&O levy, an educational programs and operations levy, or EP&O levy, and some folks even call this an enrichment levy. It is not supposed to be used for basic education costs, but for all the things that are enrichment for students. We also have in our state technology levies and capital levies, and they are for exactly what they sound like. Technology levies are paying for any kind of technology, and capital is really for construction and renovation projects. Our board has opted to place a maintenance and operations levy as well as a technology and capital levy onto the February 11th, 2025 special election ballot. So first we're going to dig into Proposition 12, the replacement EP&O levy. Couple of facts about EP&O levies. They have to be approved by OSPI. We have already submitted ours and received approval. And they are to fund, again, enrichment activities like athletics, school clubs, extra elective courses, additional support staff. Most levies in Washington State, however, pay for mandatory costs that are exceeding the state's funding allocation, and also to maintain competitive staff salaries. By the numbers, our Proposition 12 is for 3 years. It is a replacement of an existing 3-year EP&O levy. This one would be for the years 2026 through 2028. It will raise approximately $44 million for programs and operations of the district, and you can see here the amount that is generated via tax revenue in each calendar year. The approximate tax rate is $1.75 per $1,000 of assessed valuation. So when you think about your home or your property, whatever the assessed value is, for every $1,000, you would pay $1.75 that comes to the school district. Our current EP&O levy was estimated at $1.50, so this does include a 25-cent increase over the previous EP&O levy. Though we do talk about it as an approximate tax rate because the levy is really about the dollar amount listed in that second bullet. And the actual tax rate can go up or down a few cents either way, depending on the actual assessed valuation of the entire district for that calendar year. The replacement EP&O levy is going to fund the same things that it currently funds. The current EP&O levy and the new one fund student support, such as additional staff, supplies, and technology. It pays for all of our athletics programs. It pays the salaries for all of our coaches. They are fantastic people, but I don't think they'd work for free. It also pays for performing arts. We have amazing music programs in our district and theater programs, which are really supplemented by our EP&O levy. Pays for lots of different student activities, professional development for our teachers, a little bit for maintenance, and another really important item is our Family Resource Center, as well as special education. Our state special education funding is considerably short of what the actual costs are, and we are required to provide those services that are in students' individual education plans under state and federal law. Last year, in the 23-24 school year for Ridgefield School District, we were $1 million short in special education funding, and that gets made up through the replacement EP&O levy through our local taxpayers. So just some comparison for you. Again, both 3-year levies on the EP&O. The current 3-year EP&O levy was approved in August of 2022, and it will expire at the end of this calendar year, December 31st, 2025. You can see here the amounts that were collected in 23-24 and the upcoming 25 year. Again, the estimated tax rate was $1.50. And I think it's important to just, again, see how that played out over time. So the actual tax rates collected in 23 were $1.47 because our assessed valuation within Ridgefield School District came in higher than anticipated. It dropped as low as $1.43 in 2024, again, because our growth has continued at a rate higher than was predicted. And right now we are planning on $1.52 for 2025. So important for folks to understand it can be above or below that number based on the assessed valuation across the entire district. Currently at $2.66 per $1,000 of assessed valuation, Ridgefield School District has the second lowest tax rate of school districts within Clark County. And you may be thinking, well, you just said, Jenny, it's $1.43, so where's the rest of that money? And it is existing bonds. So bonds typically take 20 to 40 years to pay off, so we are still paying previous bonds that were passed in this community. Why are we seeking an increase? There are really a number of reasons. The first is that student enrollment continues to go up, and that increases the needs across the system. Our enrollment's up 12% from 3,845 students to 4,314 as of this fall. That's just in the past 3-year period. If you look at our average enrollment over the last decade, we've almost doubled. So no longer considered really a small district. We are really considered kind of a medium district now. So we've gone from being a 2,000 kid system to being over 4,000. Other reasons for the 25-cent increase ask on the replacement EP&O levy is that expenses have increased without state funding matching it. And I think everybody is aware of this. We're aware of it in our own pocketbooks. So food prices have gone up. When you go to the grocery store, $100 doesn't buy what it used to buy. And for us as a school system, we run nutrition services. And so as those food prices have gone up, for example, milk, everybody remembers your carton of milk that you get with your school lunch. Those costs are up 33% since 2018. Fuel prices are also up. The majority of our buses are diesel, and the cost of diesel has gone up 39% since 2018. Utilities are up. Everyone is feeling that in the bills you get at home as well. That increases what we call our materials, supplies, and operation costs, or you'll hear education folks say MSOCs. That's how we refer to those. Electricity is up 37%, and natural gas heating is up 62%. We have mandatory insurance that we are required to have as a school district, just like as a driver, I have to have car insurance. That's a state law. As a school district, I also have to have liability insurance. And the rates are up almost 60%, with anticipated double-digit increases again in the next year. We have all probably seen in the news the fires happening in California, and as a country, we'll be paying that off through our insurance everywhere, not just in California. And then the last bucket is staff salaries within our state. So this is not just Ridgefield School District, but across Washington State, certificated staff salaries are up approximately 18%, but the state reimbursement only increased by 11%. So it's creating a greater shortfall across the system. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the capital levy, Capital and Technology Proposition 13. I've had a number of questions from folks about why a capital levy and not a bond. So this just gives you a quick overview of the difference between the two. And the bolded items are the ones I think I really want to focus on. With a bond, you're looking at up to 40 years of paying it off. It's like getting a mortgage for your house. A capital project levy instead has a 6-year maximum term. And they are approved differently. A bond requires a supermajority or 60%, while the capital project requires just a simple majority, 50% plus 1. So again, by the numbers, Proposition 13 in the new Capital and Technology Levy, again, a 3-year term. This is a new concept for Ridgefield School District to run a capital and tech levy. It's not a new idea, though, within our state. Many districts have them, including locally Vancouver School District, Evergreen School District, Camas School District, and Battleground School District. It has become a way for districts to address shortfalls and address maintenance needs when there is such a high bar for bonds to pass. We opted to look at a 3-year term to hopefully make this palatable for taxpayers. It will raise about $21 million for capital projects and technology, and you can see the dollar amounts levied for each calendar year here. Again, an approximate tax rate, and the tax rate that we believe it will be is 84 cents per $1,000 of assessed valuation. The capital facilities and technology levy is only going to go to 3 things, and one is going to take the lion's share of that funding, and it is the construction of elementary number 3, which will be located at 7025 North 10th Street. The district's already invested about $6 million in that school through the purchase of the property, the dirt work, the design work that's been completed. It is a site that is more than shovel ready. The vast majority of this capital and tech levy will go to fund that construction. We also have some overdue deferred maintenance projects throughout the district, but we're focusing on the elementaries. So Southridge and Union Ridge Elementary both need some roof repair and some HVAC upgrades. And finally, it will restore the district's $500,000 per year annual technology budget. We cut that from our budget this year in an effort to get closer to a balanced budget, and that is directly what funds the one-to-one devices for our students and also the replacement cycle for our staff. So how are we funding construction of a building without running a bond? We are combining multiple funding sources in order to do that. The first is developer impact fees. There have been portions of our developer impact fees that have played a part in some prior bond proposals and campaigns, but we are really looking to put every penny of that we have towards this one project. We've heard loud and clear from the community that the elementary number 3 is the priority and that we should be focusing on that. We have about $21 million sitting in our developer impact piggy bank, and those funds can only be used for increasing square footage to serve students. Those dollars really are supposed to be utilized to create space for the kids that come when you have new housing going in. We also have already started the application process through OSPI's School Construction Assistance Program, or SCAP program. We have available to us about $16.5 million for K-8 new construction. That is based on also the growth in our district. As we've enrolled more students, as you saw on the enrollment slide, we have more what they refer to as unhoused student population. It doesn't mean they're having class on the playground, but they're in portables, they're in non-permanent space. And as you have more and more students in non-permanent space, it increases the amount that the state will fund. Now, the state does fund construction only at a percentage of the project and only at a maximum amount per square footage, which, as will surprise no one, is not the same amount it actually costs to build. Given, though, those 2 sources of funds, we are able to run a capital and technology levy over a 3-year period to generate enough additional revenue to cover the full cost of construction for that project, as well as those additional maintenance and technology needs. I get asked all the time, how have we been responsive to feedback? We had a pretty big survey right after the failed bonds in April. The board has held 2 different town halls. We had 7 different community cafes at campuses and 3 out in the community. We've had open discussion at multiple board meetings, and the board really identified the priorities by developing Proposition 13, which was focus on the elementary, get that done, show the community that we can be responsible and on time with that. Remove all athletic projects, which have been removed, so there's no more turf field or lights at the elementary 3 location. We reduced the competition-sized gym down to just a standard elementary gym, remove the bleachers, change the flooring to something less expensive. We removed all of the high school projects, including the track resurfacing and field turf replacement. Those are no longer included. And we also heard loud and clear from the community, reduce the bells and whistles. So we've reduced the square footage about 6,000 square feet, eliminated all of the collaboration spaces, wide hallways, extra casework, and are working through the process of choosing simpler and less expensive finishes. For example, we've already agreed that we would do sealed concrete floors in lieu of polished concrete floors. So really trying to be responsive to what we've heard from the community, which is build what you need, not what you want, and looking to do this as economically as we can. So frequently asked questions, just a couple of questions, and then there is a QR code here and a link for you where there are many more FAQs posted. And if you have questions, it's very likely they might be there. One is just, so what's the total ask? What's the increase to taxpayers? The replacement EP&O levy, again, is replacing an expiring levy that we are currently paying as taxpayers within Ridgefield School District. It is an increase of 25 cents per $1,000 of assessed valuation over the current EP&O levy. And the capital tech, again, is 84 cents estimated. So the combined is $1.09 per $1,000 of assessed valuation, which is the additional ask to the community. And another one that I just want to make sure folks are aware is, is there tax relief for folks on a fixed income? I get this question sometimes from seniors in the community. And so seniors and homeowners who are disabled may be eligible for a property tax exemption. It is based on overall income. And under that program, your AV gets frozen for tax purposes. And you may even be eligible for retroactive reduction of your property taxes. So there's a link here that takes you to Clark County. And it's a fairly simple process to apply, but I know they're happy to help you through that process as well. And with that, just want to remind everyone to vote by February 11th, and happy to answer any questions.